Skoda Fabia TDI 3-cylinder diesel in red, which is beautiful. It's in for a clutch because it's slipping, so I'm going to take the gearbox out. So I'll walk you through that step by step. Going to take the front wheels off. Lock and wheel nuts undo by hand. If you do it with a gun, they'll break. Just loosen them off, lift the car up, then you can take them off with the gun if you like. I am going to lift the car up and have a good look around underneath first. Take the covers off and just see which is the best way to go about this. Because I think I have to take the battery and other bits and pieces out from the top. But anyway, lift it up, have a look. Okay, I've had a good look round. Similar to a Polo, can't remember the last time I did one of these. A lot of people will take the gearbox out and leave the subframe in place. There's room to get it out, but it's a little awkward. And for what it takes, I think I'm just going to drop this little subframe out, because all it's holding is the torque stop, the steering rack, and the anti-roll bar. The bottom joints for the bottom wishbones have got to come off anyway, so I can get the drive shafts out. So I think the best way, the easiest way, take the subframe out. Anti-roll bar bolts, 4 of those. 2 bolts holding the steering rack, 1 holding the torque stop, 2 nuts holding the bottom ball joints, which have to come out anyway so you can get the drive shafts out. Subframe's out the way, gives you loads of room to see what you're doing. But I think to start with, I'm going to drop it down, take the battery out, take the battery tray out. Battery needs to come off anyway. Disconnecting the battery is always a good idea because the starter motor's here, it's going to be dangling, live wires, you know the deal. But take the battery off, take it off, get out the way, 2 battery terminals. I've left the ignition key just turned on so the steering lock doesn't come in. There is a 13 millimeter down there to get the battery out. Always take the negative off first. Okay, with the battery out the way and the battery tray out the way, we can see what we're doing. There's the gearbox mount. We're going to leave that for now, but we can get at the gear linkages. So we'll take those off, get them out of the way. I can see the reverse light switch, so I'll unplug that and get that out of the way. There's a little clip, lift and push it back. Notice I'm putting all the nuts and bolts from the top side up here. So I know everything here belongs to the top side rather than getting it mixed up with everything else on the bench. Pulls off. There's another clip there. Okay, I'm going to take the mount that holds the cables off just to get that out of the way, and probably didn't need to undo these clips, although I might have done to get out of the way to get to the 13 bolt. Also in here is the clutch slave cylinder. You can see that. Where am I? Clutch slave cylinder is just there. That's held on with 2 13 bolts, so I'll get that out of the way as well while I'm here. There we go. Clutch slave cylinder's out. That was slightly awkward. Might have even been easier to get it from underneath. I don't know. I just did it while I was up here. Gear linkage cables. There was 2 bolts facing that way and 1 going that way into the back of the gearbox bolt. They were all 13mm. There's actually two plugs on the gearbox here, electrical. Disconnect both of them. And actually I can get at the top starter bolt here, so I might just do that while I'm up here. That looks like a 19. Actually the top starter bolt is 18mm. Get that out of the way. Again, I'll put that on the bench because I think this is all going to be easier from underneath. The two wiring plugs, the pieces that you have to press to undo are on the bottom, so I'm just going to do them from underneath. So that's everything pretty much done in here. Let's go underneath. While I'm up top, I'm just going to slacken off these two gearbox mounts. I'm not going to take them out, just slacken them for now. Wheel arch liner out, whole bunch of Torx. All that lot, and all of that lot. So with that wheel arch lining out, we can really see what we're doing now. Next, take the drive shaft out, spin it around, take the bottom ball joint nut off, drop that out. The hub can swing out the way, undo the drive shaft. You can see there's a bunch of, I think they're multi-splines holding the drive shaft in this weird shaped nut. And the drive shaft bolt is a 36mm multi. Yeah, it's not a bolt, it's a nut. Strange setup. It's kind of self-locking as it goes in. Those little tabs lock it as it goes in. Bottom ball joint nut is off. This is a taper joint, so it's stuck in there. Got the drive shaft loose, bolts off the other side, but it won't come off till I get that out the way. The way to loosen these is to give them a gentle tap and they'll release with a bit of pressure on the wishbone. Now I've got this handy tool that's putting pressure on it, but if you get a friend with a long scaffolding bar through here onto the subframe, you'll be able to put pressure on it, give it a tap, out it comes. And I'll use this handy tool, pull it down. That's out the way. Let me straighten up the wheels, give it room to come out. Push the drive shaft up. Just caught it and out she comes. Easy as that. I'm going to do the exact same procedure on the other side to get that bolt out. The 6 bolts holding the drive shafts in are an M8 multi-spline. Volkswagen, Skoda use a lot of multi-spline, so it's worth buying a set of these if you're going to tackle this job. Also, that nut is a multi-spline weird size 36, it's a VW thing. Right, other side. Next step, I'm going to whip the subframe out to get it out of the way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the anti-roll bar link nut off there, leave the anti-roll bar link behind with the suspension, and this anti-roll bar will stay with the subframe. Okay, that's both. Obviously bottom ball joints are out, anti-roll bar links are off. I'm going to do these 2 bolts, that'll leave the steering rack behind. Pop these exhaust mounts off, take this bolt out and this bolt out for the torque stop. That just basically stops the engine rocking back and forward. And then I've got 1 up through here, 2 3, 4 subframe bolts, and these little extra brackets are a couple of 13s. So let's whip all that off. Right, so there's only those 2 bolts left, subframe out the way. Again, as I said, you probably can get the gearbox without doing it, but for the sake of 10 minutes, you've got that all out the way and it makes a massive difference. And as you can see, getting that out of the way, all this room to get a gearbox, bolts and things. See the difference? There's now nothing obstructing that gearbox. Just makes life a whole lot easier. Next step, the bits of wiring I was on about. Unplug these 2 here, undo the starter motor, get it out of the way. Actually, there's a nut holding the bracket, and then the starter motor bolt, the top one's already out. Got a gearbox bolt here, here. Take this plate off because there's a gearbox bolt there. And then there's another main one around here. And there'll be 2 over the top. So once I've got all those bolts out, I'll leave the top 2 in. I'll support the engine, take the gearbox mount off, and then I can slowly let the whole thing down, get at the top 2, and then it's ready to come out. I'll cable tie all that lot out the way. Just make life easier. All that cable tie out the way. Barrel was 16, and the one round the corner is an 18. Right, I've just gently supported the engine. There's an engine mounting up there, and there's a gearbox mounting up there. Even though the subframe's gone, this can't come down. I'm supporting it here because I now want to take this gearbox mount off, let this down gently, get the gearbox to come down like this, get at the top bolts, out it comes. All right, what I'm trying to do is get this gearbox jack, transmission stand, whatever you want to call it, just jam itself on the gearbox. You can even tie it on the gearbox, because I want this to stay in exactly the same place when it comes out. So I'm not moving it around to get it back in. I'm quite happy with that. These jaws have got it here. These jaws have got it at the back. Nice and solid. Okay, everything's supported. If you remember earlier, I slackened the 2 gearbox bolts at the top. Now everything's supported. I've got the ladders, gone up, took those 2 bolts completely out. So now the gearbox is sitting on the jack. Let's lower it down. Now I can hit these 3 bolts, get that bracket out of the way. That's that gearbox bolt. That's that gearbox bracket out of the way. And now over the top, there's the last 2 bolts holding the gearbox in. Yeah, there's a gearbox bolt. Oh, where is it? There. And the other ones. There. Take those two out, gearbox should come out. Right, it'll be stuck on a dowel. A little bit of gentle persuasion and she should come out. That's it. Never done one of these before, obviously. The gearbox won't come past because the drive shaft flange can't clear the flywheel. You can see I've stuck a socket in there. There's a 6mm bolt holding that in, so I'll whip that flange out. Then the gearbox should come out. Okay, there's that gearbox flange out. I've left the socket in there. 6mm Allen key. Just pull straight out. Now the gearbox will come out. Straight out. And there's nothing in the way. No subframes, no wires, no nothing. Happy days. Noisy gearbox bearing as usual. Clutch release bearing is very worn. It's done 113,000 miles, so it's probably the original. To whip the clutch off. Yeah, it's actually got a VW Audi stamp on it, so it is the original from the factory. Alright, that's the box out to whip the clutch off. This is a 9mm multi-spline, again a Volkswagen Audi Skoda thing. No one else uses these sizes, I didn't get it. Ringer bolt. Six altogether. That's held on with dowels, but it should wiggle off. Dowel there, and a dowel up the top, which I can't get at. That's it. There's a lot of clutch material coming out. Oh yeah, that's been hot. You can see it's down at the rivets. Had the money's worth out of that one. You can see by the heat marks it's been slipping. Clean that flywheel, will be okay. It's actually a solid flywheel on this, not a dual mass. Happy days. Now putting the clutch back in is just the reverse of what I've done. Align it the center by eye, the center of the clutch plate, or you can buy a tool to do that. Torque your cover bolts down. I don't know what the torques are. Google it, they'll be there. And that's it. Reverse order, put the gearbox back in just the way you saw me taking it out. A few little footnotes on that. If you're doing it at home, axle stands, wheels underneath, anything underneath, do not take chances. Do not do this just on a jack. Jacks fail. That's my disclaimer. Be safe. Anyway. Clutch is there, we've seen it, it's worn out, wear and tear, normal stuff. Gearbox is out, we replaced that bearing, it's part of the kit. When I'm doing this, I've got it all laid out, subframe there, wheel arch guard, all the bolts, so I know exactly where to go back, drive shafts. On the bench, I've laid out, not as neat as usual, gearbox mount, drive shaft flange. These are the gearbox bolts, that's the big one at the back. All the little ones that go in the front. That was a torque stop, starter motor bolts. Just everything's nicely laid out so you know where it is. All the wheel arch guard stuff's up here, suspension stuff's up here, all the top stuff's up the top so you know where to find it. So hopefully that was useful for you. If it was useful, let me know in the comments. If I've missed something, let me know in the comments. Do the old like and subscribe thing. Thank you very much. See you next time.